It's Andrew Downs. I'm proud to support Three Beards Media, and I would love to work with you. If you need merchandise for your company, organization, band, softball team, whatever, I can help. From name brand apparel to promotional items, large orders or small, online stores, and more, I can help your brand stand out. AKC Marketing is local, based in Johnston, and we are an employee-owned business, so our costs are low and our turnaround times are fast. But most importantly, we give you personal service to make sure you get exactly what you're looking for. Email me at andrew@akcmarketing.com or find me on social media, and let's make some cool stuff together. Now sit back and enjoy this Three Beards Media podcast.
And a long time plan. From the bright lights flashing down in Old Sin City to a 2-drink minimum in the town so great. Plus non-stop on the interstate. Truck stop coffee keeping us awake. Midwest roads, yeah, we know them well. From Des Moines to Chi, got stories to tell. Late nights, bright lights, open mic fights. Killing on stage, then it's back to the flight. From the cornfields to the Vegas Strip. Ain't no stage where we don't fit. Billy and Willie's workshop, welcome inside. Where the jokes are sharp and the laughs collide. From the neon glow to the small town dive. Comedy's the road that keeps us alive.
Yes, sir.
On a Monday.
On a Monday.
Because tomorrow is my anniversary, 30 years with the missus. So we're going to go out to eat. That one restaurant, Pride and Prejudice, I think it's what it's called. Or is it Prime and Providence? I don't know. It's one of those things. Steakhouse.
Pride and Prejudice. That sounds like a movie.
Yeah, that was
a play.
A play, movie, book, whole thing, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, I want to get the show off to a rousing start. Last week, since I'm 69, that's the time you got to start kicking the tires, make sure you can stay alive. I went and went to my gout doctor. He helped me out, medicine, to keep my gout down. But then I had to get my colonoscopy. And surprise, surprise, I don't mind it. We've talked about it, Billy. There's fun things for the mere fact that, they give you the good drug. And you actually woke up on yours, I think, at the end.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. We were talking about it last week.
Yeah. So it used to be that Versed and Demerol, right? They informed me at the last minute, still Versed, fentanyl. And I first of all, as soon as you hear fentanyl, it just makes you think, oh my God, what the fuck's going on? And not the same thing at all. I woke up sicker than a dog, and I was sick for 36 hours.
Really?
Yeah, the fentanyl just fucked me up bad. So
wow.
Yeah. So
I'm just
really, really nauseated. I was really nauseated, had a headache. It was horrible. It was absolutely horrible.
Yeah,
and that's the only thing I can think of is because every other time, like I said, it doesn't bother me to do that because that's some of the best sleep I ever get was when I'm on the Demerol. And
I got the fucking when I had pancreatitis, I had a fentanyl drip.
Now see,
in the hospital, I was fucking
working it like it was a video game.
Oh, dude, yeah, it looked like I was playing Atari with the one fucking button. Just
yeah. So I mean, next time. I got to think that's what it was. I can't imagine anything else because I've never ever had a problem, and this is like my 6th or 7th one. So, anyway.
Did you tell them that you?
No, well, yeah, my wife. Oh, yeah, my wife called them later that day and went nuts on them. So, what? First of all, they didn't tell me till last. I mean, that's something I think they should at least let you know.
Yeah, if they're gonna change.
And and they basically it was like last minute.
Why? What was the reason? Did they say?
I know. I think that there's a shortage of Demerol, and apparently there's a lot of fentanyl. So, yeah,
yeah,
I don't know if they confiscated this shit at the border or what.
It must be cheap because they talk about how all these people are ODing on fentanyl that aren't getting it on purpose.
You know what's so funny?
I just find it hard to believe.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like every drug,
that
somebody gets all fucked up on or like die, whatever happens. I feel like people say they didn't know they were getting. I think they all knew it.
Oh, I think so too.
Like these accidental fentanyl overdoses.
Yeah.
I think every last one of almost. I shouldn't say every last one because
For the most
Some
part,
people may have just trusted someone that gave them something, but
most of us aren't physicians anyway, so you don't know what. I mean,
I think
how do
most
you
of
know
these
what?
fentanyl overdoses you're seeing happened. They purposely did fentanyl.
Yeah, you know what's so funny is when you look at both sides of the party, how they fight with each other. I remember they were talking about all the fentanyl thing, and somebody said, "Well, the guy came on the air the other day and said they only confiscated like 43 pounds of fentanyl in the Canadian border." And I went 43. And then finally somebody came back and said, "Yeah, do you realize that like a milligram is all it's like so for 43 pounds you could fuck up the entire country." You know what I mean? So it's like, yeah. So, but that each one tries to sell. That's not that much. Oh no, well, we take it by what it does to you. Yeah, it is a lot.
Well, like I don't. Yeah, it's hard to say, I guess, because I feel like, and maybe I'm wrong, but I don't know if like how many milligrams are in
I don't either.
Like a pill or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's weight.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't know how,
because you can get pills that are different sizes that are also the same milligrams.
Yeah, no, exactly. In my medicine cabinet right now, I take a couple pills. One of them's a 5 milligram, the other was a 10 milligram, the same size pill. So
But it seems like it would be weight, though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because how else are you going to measure it? What?
I have no idea.
Like
not a clue. Now, I know you. I mean, when you were young, you were a party kid. I mean, was there ever a time in your life when you were younger that you thought of trying something that you weren't really sure about, like a fentanyl or something like that?
Never one fucking time did I ever try anything that I didn't know what it was ever.
Yeah.
Like,
well, you do I mean, you did shrooms.
The dumbest fucking shit ever.
But you and Ross did shrooms when you go to those concerts you go to, right?
We when we went to Rage, we did just like we didn't really get much out of that.
Yeah.
But those are the only drugs I've ever done is weed and shrooms and acid. I've done acid.
See, I did weed a long time ago, and which I didn't care for, and back in the 80s I actually freebased cocaine a couple times. And this is this is before anybody knew what could fuck. And I'll tell you how it happened with me.
Tell me how it felt, though. I want to know what
kind of blew my head off a little bit. I mean, from what I remember, but I can remember 2 incidents. One of them was we went to a party and we did it, and some big black guy came over later and said, "You owe me $300." Told me and my friends, and I'm looking at him going, "Man, this is like 1978 or something." I'm looking at him going, "Fuck, I could have bought a pair of shoes. What am I doing?" So at that point, it was like, I don't want to spend a lot of money. And then the second thing that changed me forever was when Len Bias overdosed. I remember when he died, I thought to myself, okay, this guy's in the best shape of anybody I know. And if this can kill him, I'm pretty sure it could kill me. And then right then and there, I said, I will never do this again. And I never did.
But what was it with him? He was freebasing coke?
I don't think he was freebasing. I think he was just doing lines.
He was just doing coke. Yeah. See,
and
I don't think I have never known anybody that's OD'd on coke.
Yeah.
Like
I knew I had a few friends that have died.
But was it coke or was it shitty coke?
Well, I don't know. All I know is it killed him.
Right, but like, was it whatever it was cut with that killed him?
Yeah.
Because like back in the day, in the 80s, that was the thing. Like, people cut it with baby formula or
baby laxative, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, so
they step on it, as they say.
Yeah, so that obviously they could
sell
more bang for their buck.
Yeah.
So sometimes they would cut that shit with some really bad stuff, and that's what would kill people. Because
there you go.
I mean, I'm just saying, when's the last time you heard? I've known several people that have done coke on a regular basis.
Oh, I had friends that did it for. I know people are still fucking doing it.
Exactly. So when's the last time you heard of someone ODing on coke?
It's been a while. I mean, I haven't.
Exactly. So I feel like something happened where people quit cutting it like that.
Yeah.
And that's why, Like, remember the movie Fatal Beauty?
Fatal Beauty.
It was a Whoopi Goldberg movie in the 80s, I believe.
What was that about? Was that about coke?
Yeah, and it was called Fatal Beauty, and then some of the bags, the stamp where it said Fatal Beauty would be cut off, and that meant it was cut with whatever was killing people.
Yeah. See,
so anyway, I think, heroin, people OD on heroin.
It's funny is when I look back, you know how they say when people die, you always say, therefore the grace of God go I. I think about some of the bad decisions I've made in my life as a young man, like thinking to myself, okay, we bought this coke from a guy in a disco in a bathroom. I mean, there's no, what are the odds this might be bad? I mean, so yeah, so that's
it's weird because like I never really nice, good job, Rev.
Yeah, very nice, Rev.
I never even tried coke or meth or I never wanted to snort anything. It just didn't appeal to me.
Also, I'm guessing the people you hung around with. I mean, everybody, you got a group. Everybody's got their drug of choice, and that's part of the reason why you hang with these people. You know what I mean? You're all doing the same thing.
Right? Yeah. Well, it just depends because I think it depends on the drug.
Yeah.
Like, I've got plenty of friends that don't smoke weed.
Yeah. Well, me and you, we go out. I mean, we work on the road many times together. I can remember. I don't know if you remember this. Me and you were working up. I think it was like Lamar's or I don't know.
I think I know exactly what you're talking about.
Because this is a while back, and I remember I went to go get you, and I opened up the door, and it was like a Cheech and Chong movie. Smoke just billowed out of the room.
I had somebody tell me I sound like Tommy Chong on the phone today.
There you go.
It made me laugh.
Dave, where's Dave?
So I've just never I don't know. I think the 80s kind of, in a way, the war on drugs or whatever kind of
just say no.
It kind of steered me away from crack and fucking just shit that was like shit that was dirty.
Yeah.
Like just seemed dirty,
Yeah. I mean, I just my thing is I just don't want to put my life in the hands of somebody you don't know. And I never needed to get that fucked up that, you know what I mean? That I was going to take a chance.
I think maybe I was also lucky too, where like, people I looked up to smoked pot. I found out smoked pot, right? Because I kind of was in that drugs are bad in general, and I was just not.
And you're an athlete, so I mean that was part of the deal too. I mean, although a lot of athletes did a lot of drugs,
and so like I would. All of a sudden, I wanted to try weed. Seemed like it was okay, like it got normalized.
You know what's crazy about weed?
And
I mean,
so like crack never got normal. I'd never like a crackhead was somebody begging on the street.
Exactly.
To me.
Yeah. It's so weird, but weed, like I never got into it, but the stereotype is, makes you slow down, makes you want to eat. But I can remember going down the park and there'd be like these brothers down there playing basketball, higher and shit, but still could, you know what I mean? They could still play. They could still, it was like not what you thought weed was supposed to do to you. You know what I mean?
That was me and my friend's favorite thing to do, get stoned and go play pickup basketball games. We did it all the time.
Man,
especially like when Grand Slam USA opened up, we were like 8th and 9th grade.
And
then
when did you start smoking pot?
So then I was 16.
Rev says it's a natural steroid. I didn't know that.
I didn't either. I've never paid attention.
Well, shit, then you're like the Arnold Schwarzenegger of there you go.
Grand Slam USA, you could rent a court,
and
then you could raise and lower the hoops. They had like double rims, plexiglass backboards.
Yeah.
So we'd put the rims at like 8.5 feet and just fucking run and gun and dunk and throw hoops and like just have a blast.
Oh yeah. All you kids are just higher and shit.
The thing is, like, you're not really stoned by the time you're playing and stuff. Like,
have you ever had a bad experience on weed?
I mean, there's been times where it's heightened my anxiety.
Yeah.
Like if you get something that's a little too, like a real heavy sativa.
Yeah.
So you have indica and sativa, right? And indica is, people say indica couch. That's indica is like get you just chilling. Sativa is more your, a head high, like more of a productive high. That's what people say.
I've had just bad experiences when, especially the edibles. I can't.
I feel like the heavy sativa is when I've had anxiety issues.
So do you do different kinds of weed for different occasions? I mean, do you try to?
No, well, I think some people do. I'm not like. To me, weed's just like wine.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, some's better than others.
Yeah.
But like when you get to the fucking cunty level where people are talking about the different strains and different highs, like I'm like, shut up, it's all the fucking same. Like everything's a hybrid.
You don't smoke anything different for different occasions. It's like, I'm going to do this or I'm going to do that. I mean,
no, I ain't got a fucking tackle box. There are
Yeah.
people that do,
Really,
like just like a wine cellar.
Well, I mean, you've been in the dispensaries. I've even been in there walking around, and they kind of ask you, do you want to mellow out? You want to do this? You want to?
I feel like that's all bullshit.
I was going to say, is that for real?
Yeah, I mean, it kind of is. It kind of is. But the thing is, almost every strain is some kind of hybrid. They're not. Yeah, exactly.
What are dabs?
Dabs are. I don't fuck with dabs really anymore. That's something that will get your fucking anxiety. Like
I almost had a heart attack on a fucking brownie. So
that's honestly, that's closer to what a dab is.
Yeah.
Like if you do like a really strong edible, that's a little closer. Like, yeah, dabs are something that'll get the anxiety fucking going. And I don't really fuck with dabs. Like I'm just a flower guy. I don't really like fucking with all the contraptions and the fucking
You have friends that are into that shit?
I got friends that got tackle boxes. I got friends that fucking. I got friends with everything of every kind of like, the movie Half Baked. They're like the MacGyver stoner and the blah 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 stoner and the whatever. Like that. There's a lot of truth to that. Like.
You know what's crazy is
I'm the one that taught everybody to smoke out of a green pepper just for economical reasons.
I like that idea. I remember when we were kids, they used to smoke out of
an apple.
Apple.
Pop can. See, that's the thing. Like I remember an apple was the thing, right?
Yeah.
So I remember in college, this dude came over, and he was one of the smart stoners, Like I liked being around smart stoners because I didn't like being stereotyped. Like I was some kind of fucking, what a dumbass, right? Yeah. So like whenever I knew like, dude, there's a straight A student that smoked pot, I thought he was the coolest fucking person in the world. Yeah.
He was, because he was taking it to a different level.
Yeah, he was like he'd get real introspective,
like, sure.
Back when like you'd smoke and it would matter, like now it's just like medication. It's like to feel normal.
What's funny is two things that I've gotten into a lot over the years, but I never got into it in the way people wanted me to is I like scotch, as you know. And I've been to a couple scotch clubs, and then I like my cigars, and I always do the David Smoker. But for the life of me,
those guys are cunts.
I have no idea. Like when people say, "Well, you like this," and I'm like, dude, I just want to, give me. I like a nice scotch, and I'll smoke a nice cigar. I don't want to talk about it. I don't. As of now, as you know, I don't. As of now, because I can't smell or taste anyway. I'm just doing it just for reaction. I mean, just to do something with my hands. Feel it. But even before then, I just wasn't. I don't want to know about I can smell some citrus and it's I don't care about any of that. I love going to smokers. I like all the guys at David's, but don't ask me about this shit. And now I have an excuse because I can't smell or taste anyway. But even back when I could, it was like I don't want to talk about this. I just want to smoke my cigar.
Yeah, I'm the same. Like it'll be like this is really heady and this is, and I'm like, dude.
Yeah.
None of this stuff means a fucking thing to me. I have no idea. Like, it's all the same. It's all if I turn the TV on and I put my feet up, I'm gonna be out within 10 to 15 minutes.
Yeah, it's you want to do one thing. I don't need to do more than that.
Nothing else matters.
Yeah, exactly.
Like I don't.
I'm looking at your name, so we could talk about that. So what do you think about what they did to Shador?
What they did.
Well, there was something going on. I mean, could he have fucked up his interviews that bad that he goes down to 155th? I mean, come on.
No, I don't think he fucked his interviews up that bad. There's got to be guys, in history that have fucked him up worse.
I would think so. I heard a little brief thing of him talking. He sounded funnier and shit. They asked him about what you like to do to calm down. He says, "I like to golf," and he said, "I'm not good." He said, "But I golf to keep myself calm." He says, "I'm no Tiger Woods. I'm Tiger. I wish I would."
What he said. Tiger. I wish I would.
But he didn't sound. I mean, to me, he sounded kind of clever and kind of funny. But it's like, something's going on. I mean, you can't tell me all these teams didn't get together and say, keep passing on this fucking kid because the kid can play.
I think, like I saw Nick Saban say like he was the most accurate passer in the country, like last year. And that's the big thing in the NFL is, how accurate are you?
The only bad things I've heard about him is sometimes he holds on to the ball too long, which, I mean, if you hold on to the ball too long in college, you're definitely going to get messed up.
They just didn't block good enough for him.
Yeah.
But I think that, I think it was a combination of, he probably did come off a little cocky in his interviews, but I feel like that's stupid. I feel like that's a dumb reason to not draft him, because I feel like some GMs and I feel like a lot of professional, coaches and whatever, they want guys to be cocky.
I would think so. Like, the confidence is, huge. And when you get to that level, you better have confidence.
Yeah. So,
I
just don't see how so I think the cockiness coupled with not wanting to deal with Dion.
Yeah, that could be that. Now that could be very true.
I think that Dion and Shador are victims of LeVar Ball.
Yeah. LeVar. You ever see Keenan Thompson do him on?
Yes, it's fucking hilarious.
I know it is.
I think LeVar Ball, what the circus that LeVar Ball made out of his sons in the beginning. Which now he's just kind of disappeared. He finally just realized.
And come to that, one of his sons is really fucking good. Is it Mello?
Yeah.
One of them can really ball.
Mello, I believe. I don't know, but see, he made me not root for his sons.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's like it's even like the little league. You get the little league dad. I mean, like when my daughter, when she was coaching, like she's trying to coach these pitchers, and the dad's, he's behind the backstop, but trying to give the girl signal. You know what I mean? He's trying to coach from the sidelines. They can't have that. And I'm guessing you get Dion is a coach, so I mean, maybe nobody wants to do
also that. When Dion talks, people are going to listen. Dion has a platform, so is Dion going to manipulate? The coaching staff in the the organization.
Browns have got 5 quarterbacks, so let's just see where he falls in that bunch.
That's just crazy.
Yeah. Oh, they're trying to. I think they're trying to flesh out Watson. I don't think they want him anymore there. So
no,
but I don't know where it's going to go after that. Yeah,
but man, what happens? Do you think they'll Kaepernick him though? Do you think he'll end up just getting cut?
I don't know. I mean, that's the whole thing. I mean, that it was just strange. I mean, he was supposed to go top 5, and then at least first round, and then we went past the fucking second round. I was like, what is fucking going on? And then somebody traded up to get him at 155th. So I don't know.
It seems like a bit of collusion, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. Very much so. But it's going to make for a fun start of the NFL. I can't wait to see what happens. Can't wait to see what happens to him.
I did, but I haven't heard anybody compare it to LeVar Ball. That's
that to me that's a perfect example of you know what, I just don't want to deal. And LeVar Ball, he was one of those guys that he came out of nowhere, so it's like, this guy's nuts. So now
and then he's kind of gone away, but Dion ain't gonna go anywhere.
Yeah, exactly. Now you got somebody that everybody's actually gonna really fucking listen.
People are gonna listen to Dion.
Yeah. Yeah. So
like,
yeah.
I don't.
I'm sure they talked to head coach, and head coach goes, I don't need that. You know what? He's coming in as the fourth or fifth quarterback. I don't need this guy on my back telling me, try my son. So there you go. Sins of the father. Although, you know what? You think about Deion, the only guy to play in a World Series and a Super Bowl, and really played. I mean, important in both of those things. Pretty amazing.
Did they win the World Series he played in?
He was with Atlanta. I don't know if they won or not.
They,
I mean, those Atlanta teams in the 90s, only one of them actually won the World Series.
right.
And I don't know if he was on that
Can't
team.
remember if it was his or
Did he win with the Cowboys? He was with them in the 90s.
That's when they won the Cowboys and the Niners.
Oh, wow. Pretty amazing. You know what's crazy as you get older? Look at him now. I think he's got like 3 or 4 toes missing now. He got the sugar.
No, it ain't the sugar.
It ain't the sugar. What is it?
No, it's some other deal.
Wow.
There was some. I remember him having turf toe all the time.
Oh,
I remember him being out because of turf toe once or twice.
Yeah. Will it cut off?
And I think he had some kind of toe injury while he played.
Which toe is it? The one that wanted the roast beef, or was it? That's the third one.
I think it was the one that went wee all the way home, and that's why they cut it off so it could go home.
Yeah, actually go home. Damn. Yeah. Although you can wear smaller shoes, which is a plus.
Or you could just move to China and wear normal shoes. Yeah. But yeah, I think something like some toe injury or surgery or foot surgery. I think the doctors even might have botched a surgery.
Oh, wow.
That fucked up some nerves or some circulation or something.
God damn. You know, that's the funny thing is I had gout a while back in my big toe. It's amazing how just something small like a toe can just fuck up everything. Just, you know what I mean? I mean, you
got to think about how much that's the whole weight of your whole body. That's nothing supports more.
Yeah. Did the big toe go to the market
than your toe?
No, listen, this toe went to the market. This toe, how's it go? This toe, roast beef. The fourth toe wanted none. And the fifth toe, we all the way home.
This little piggy went to market. Yeah, the big one went to market. The second one stayed home. Third one had roast beef.
The fourth one had none. And the baby went wee all the way home. Fifth one went wee. So the second and fourth toe are just fucking freeloading. They're not doing anything. They're not eating. They're not going to the market. They're not helping at all.
Well, here's what's crazy. And it really does. It lends itself to me being like the middle child and just carrying my siblings.
Yeah. So you went and got the roast beef.
No, my second toe is longer than my big toe, like by a lot.
You know, they say, I mean, there's certain there's certain nationalities that their feet are certain ways. I've seen like on Facebook where like if your second toe's bigger than the first, you could be Greek.
Like it's American. It's like that. Like it's like that. Like probably like that.
And neither one of your none of your siblings.
I don't know.
They never looked at their toes.
I never asked, I guess.
So when you measure yourself for a shoe, you don't measure your big toe. You go all the way up to the middle toe, or the second toe.
Yeah, well, and it has to be a little bit bigger because that second toe will start to hurt if it goes up against the edge of the.
It sounds like it's almost maybe a finger.
It's not.
You might have a finger.
It looks like a fucking finger. That's bizarre.
Yeah. Feet are just fucked up.
It's somewhat of a common thing, but I remember it makes my feet hurt a lot, like because it takes more stress than the big toe does.
Yeah,
the big toe is built to take more of that stress, and the second toe is not.
Because the second toe just stayed home, and your toes, you're making it work.
Right.
Your toe should be going to the market.
Right. The second toe. The second toe shouldn't have stayed home. It should have done more working out and preparing.
Go. Now, let me tell you about me. I have, I think there's a lot. There might have been some intermarriage in my family tree. My two baby toes.
Wait, intermarriage? You mean incest?
Yeah, there you go.
You think incest?
I don't know. My feet are so fucked up. My two baby toes. Here's your feet, right? And here's they go like that. Here's your toes. My baby toes go like this. They're sideways. So the nail of the baby toe, it looks like if everybody was laying in bed facing up towards the ceiling, the last toe is facing the wall.
It's like just 90-degree angle.
Exactly. But my toe is wee all the way to the wall, sideways. My toes.
Your toe went go home.
There you go. Yes, I get some. So I always, my whole life, that's when I knew my wife loved me. Because I mean, it took a while. Finally, I said, because like when I used to go to the beach, I would just bury my feet in the sand right immediately. Because my foot is, I have like a size 10.5 triple E with a high instep, and these fucking 2 baby toes that are just looking someplace else than they should be looking. So it's not a pretty sight.
So your dad.
Yeah, my dad had perfect feet. My dad had feet like my brother Tommy. My dad had size 7 feet, just perfect.
Right, but your dad,
was
cockeyed Louie, right? Was he a little cross-eyed or something?
Yeah.
That's why they called him that, right?
They had a cockeyed,
Yeah, he had one eye that was it towards his nose? Was it in or out? It was in, right?
In's fine. In you can deal with. Out, that's when it fucks you up. When the guy's got the one eye. Got that eye looking in the kitchen when he's trying to look at you.
Maybe your toe is what you inherited from his eyes.
Yeah, his eye went down to my toe.
His eye went down to your toe. It
evolved
to your toe.
Exactly. Yeah.
Can you see my eyes good enough if I do
this? Oh, that's special child.
The old Reginald Denny.
Reginald Denny. After he got fucked up in the
there was an old In Living Color sketch where Jim Carrey was Reginald Denny and David Alan Greer was Rodney King.
Rodney. Oh, I didn't.
And Reginald Denny just kept. Reginald Denny's like, we forgive whatever. And then he'd talk for a minute, and then Rodney King would just go, "Can't we all just
get along?"
And then, but I just remember like together at the end, they were both like, "Stay in your car."
Did you ever watch the old Saturday Night Lives when Martin Short and Billy Crystal were on? There was one that Martin Short that you can look up. And it's the Olympics, and it's synchronized swimming. And
I've seen the synchronized swimming.
He's got the vest on. I can't swim very well. His eyes are all fucked up. Martin Short might be one of the funniest guys in the world.
Martin Short is so funny.
Oh my God.
It's not even like
I can't. I go in fucking rabbit holes, and I watch Jiminy Glick for hours.
Oh, I can watch Jiminy Glick on.
We're talking to Bill Blank. Bill Blank.
You do Jiminy Glick every episode.
I love my Jiminy Glick. I do. I love
you him. Do it, yeah. You do Jiminy Glick more than I do.
You know what? I want to learn. I want to learn how to do a Trump, but I don't know how to do it. I need somebody.
We were talking about that last episode. I think you just need to give up on it.
I think you're right.
Like it's just if you want to act like Trump. Just act like Trump saying something.
I do my hand thing.
Yeah, I mean, just make them know that you're.
Yeah, but I like the voice. And then you have Buffalo Bill. That's it.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's it. That's why I don't do impressions. Like I could always do impressions of other impressions.
Yeah. You know what? You're right in the pocket with the Buffalo Bill. They'll stay in the pocket, baby. That's
you just stay in your lane.
And they stay in your lane.
But I don't know. I've never done it on stage, and I don't know how to do it on stage because at this point, it's a super old reference.
Yeah. That's it. It's like a Round Guy bit. Round Guy used to do this bit. It was funny, but he would never change it. It was like the bit was my doctor told me I got to get in better shape. So I got that Jane Fonda tape. And everybody's thinking that back then she used to be the workout queen. He says, "Yeah, I got on Golden Pond." He said,
"Oh yeah, I
didn't lose any weight, but I'm getting along really good with my father."
Yeah, he kept doing that fucking on Golden Pond, and nobody would get it.
Well, he used to actually say, "I got that Jane Fonda tape, like VHS
tape."
But
distance is my best cosmetic.
That's right. Exactly.
I couldn't get laid at Mitchellville.
The best of the round, fella.
We used to sometimes, when we went on the road,
Hmm.
me and a couple of the local guys,
Yeah.
me and Kevin would do it.
Oh, yeah. Kevin Fitzgerald.
Yeah, we would.
No, he was at the Yankee game that I went to when I was in New York.
Did you get to see him?
No, he was in a different section than me, and I didn't want to wander around, so he never came down.
But anyway, we'd do a theme if we were doing like a run of shows or a couple shows, and we'd be like, you gotta say we each gotta incorporate something into our set,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And
that used to be a thing where you had to you had to have a word or saying or something.
You had to do a hack round guy bit.
Oh. Did you get it in there?
Oh, always. I mean, it was always a contest to see who did a better one.
Yeah.
Like who
exactly.
Like one time we had to do a Blue Velvet reference.
Mm-hmm.
And that was fun because nobody in the crowd would get it.
Mm-hmm.
So we just had to do something that the other guy knew was from the movie somehow.
That's got me thinking. Back when we were starting, you could literally get up there and do a movie reference and everybody would, you know what I mean? Because it was like everybody was watching the same thing. Nowadays, it would be tough to try to do. The Academy Awards. Popular. When 20 years ago, when the Academy Awards came on, I saw every movie. Yeah. This year, I think I finally saw 2. But it's because nobody's watching the same shit anymore.
Yeah, I bet it's hard. Like Saturday Night Live is probably really hard to write now.
Yeah. I'm still surprised there's people that still do impressions, because to me it's like how you but it seems like it's funny. It seems like it's the same 5 impressions of whoever is popular at that time. You know what I mean? Like everybody now is doing.
What else can you do? I mean, the crowd has to get it.
Everybody does Mark Wahlberg and of course Christopher Walken and it was a really good impressionist, and I saw him the other day on Hacks. Was it Hacks? Or maybe it was the studio. It was some big show. Cameron Loxton from Omaha.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was on a big show. It was either Hacks or Friends and Neighbors or one of those.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and he was doing his impressions on stage because he does a really good Wahlberg and really good Denzel Washington, and
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know he did impressions like that.
Yeah.
Good for him. Hacks is good. I like watching that.
Yeah. Definitely. And that's another thing. I mean, it's like her thing now is she's trying to get her talk show going, her late night show. And when we went to Fallon when we were in New York, it's just not the same as it used to be. It used to be such a huge deal. Carson, Letterman. I mean, that was. Now, Fallon, Kimmel. I mean, the only one that really does stand-up anymore is Fallon. Nobody else really does them.
Does he do stand-up still?
Oh yeah. I mean, but he uses a lot of young comics out of New York, and I'm telling you, Billy, you watch some of it, and you're going, "How did this make it through?"
Really?
Yeah. Oh,
did he have a comic that when you went?
No, he didn't have one that night. He had the night we were there was Penn and Teller and Ed Sheeran.
Oh man, that would have been fun to fucking meet Penn Jillette.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance. But a lot of comics I know in Vegas know him well. Yeah, and he's a cool guy. Major atheist.
I would love to hang out with him.
Yeah, he's pretty wild, I hear.
Well, his diet. I'm talking out of my ass, but I remember him interviewing about it. He did this diet, and I've just thought about it enough that I think I know what the deal is. But it's this diet where you just eat one thing and one thing only. Like one food is all you ever eat.
It's for how long?
I don't know.
Okay.
But if I remember right, he chose potatoes.
And you can eat them any way you want.
I'm not sure, but I guess he just fucking ate them raw.
Oh, God. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was going to say one thing always. I mean, so you could just say, okay, I'm just going to eat nothing but bologna.
Yeah.
Okay.
And what it does is it changes your relationship with food. Food isn't a pleasure center for you. It's just a means to
survive,
to fuel yourself.
Yeah.
And so you stop looking at food, you stop caring about what tastes good and whatever, and you obviously eat less and you just eat enough to fuel your body.
So what would be your food of choice?
And that's how he lost all that weight.
Yeah. What would you eat if you had to have one thing?
Pizza.
I think when you think food, I think he's thinking about maybe like a
singular thing, like just cheese.
Yeah, exactly. Like
man, beef maybe.
Yeah, that's what I would do. Which would I'd be dead in a week because the fucking gout would blow my foot up.
I would. I just eat different kinds of beef all the time. I think.
How you been doing as far as your pancreatitis and everything? Everything cool?
Oh, I mean, yeah, I ain't had any issues with that. I mean, I was diabetic, obviously, but
you got the sugar.
Yeah, but I'm doing pretty well with that. I'm down to 1 pill.
Jesus, well, that's really good.
Hopefully, I'll be off of that. But
we got to do.
It's hard now. It's a lot harder.
We got to. Me and you got to go out to some comedy clubs at night. This coming up in these weeks to come up. Just go out, just hang out.
I agree.
I need to get the. You need to get the groove going. Just get the flow. Just be around it. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's like when I think about I do like a corporate every week or something. It doesn't do it. When I'm in Vegas and I'm doing one show a night every night, it's like, come by Thursday or Friday, I'm like, man, I'm on. And if you're going to be doing this thing in November, you need to.
I know.
Get on some
the corporates are so insulated.
Yeah, they're just not even really like doing a comedy show.
Yeah,
to be honest.
I've been taking a lot. I mean, I've been taking more work. I got a show almost every week.
Yeah,
So I mean, here right now. But,
now the show you're doing it in the thing. I mean, it's just a regular show. You can do. I mean, you can cuss. You can do whatever you want. It's like a regular.
Yeah, it's like it's kind of like the antithesis of dry bar comedy.
Mm-hmm.
This is open bar comedy. So
if I ever did dry bar, I don't think I'll ever do it. But if I did, I have my opening joke. I'd say, yeah, you call it dry bar comedy. I call it hidden flask comedy. And then I would say, thank you. And I'd leave. That'd be it. That'd be my big close.
Yeah, dry bar comedy to me has become like CrossFit.
What do you mean? Explain.
Everybody that does CrossFit has to brag about how they do CrossFit all the time.
Oh yeah, I hear you. Yeah. Is there anybody that's ever done dry bar that hasn't had 1 million views yet? Because I think everybody's had at least 1 million views.
There's 1 million dry bar specials, and no, most of them haven't had 1 million.
I think that's like anything else, like any other show. It's like
Brad Upton got a bunch of views. Nobody else has done that.
Yeah, and Brad capitalized on it too. I think everybody else does it, but I don't think it's now at a point where it's going to really catapult.
It's a good way. It's a good way to get content out there.
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
And and have it not cost you anything.
Right.
But they own it.
Yeah. So you can't really.
How about that's fine? It's fine if they own it, because you're not. If it goes viral, then you can finance your next thing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And
let's be honest, even if they own it, I mean, if it goes well, you're going to try to do new stuff anyway after that. That's not like you're going to you want to keep it.
Well, that's why I want this to be new stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Because then I got a whole bunch of old stuff I can still do to get if it turns into anything to where I then I got to have.
When we get closer to when it's coming, I think that what we ought to do on here is maybe at the end of the show, 3 minutes of you working on a new bit.
Yeah, that would fucking bore the fuck out of everybody. Like, here, watch how
I can
unfunny.
heckle you over here.
Watch how fucking unfunny I am until I get up there. Watch how fucking boring this is.
You know, it happened to me the other night too. Where in the fuck was I? Oh, the other day I went to my great niece's. She's in second grade and had grandparents' day. So my sister, her grandmother, so she went. My sister said, "Would you?" And Luna wants you to come. I said, "Okay." So I go, and I went there, and the teachers are there, and they're all really nice, but they're literally like, you want to get up and just like kid around with the."
Are they fucking kidding? They're so stupid. Why do they think that?
I don't know. I mean, it's like not really.
I shouldn't say they're stupid because it does sound good.
Yeah,
but they just don't get it.
Here's the problem, Billy. All these, like, there's a lot of amateur comics that we know that are out there that would jump at that shit. You know what I mean?
Oh, you got to be able to do everything.
No, you don't.
Then they brag about on Facebook, like, most comics won't do shows like this, but I can.
Yeah.
Well, no. What you can do is get through it because you're used to sucking.
You know what? That's a thing, and you're coming into that now. But that was a thing that was toughest for me to do. Is when you're younger, you get to that point where I can do anything. And I finally got to a certain point where I finally said, "Can't do after proms. Just can't do it." Yeah. And even if I thought that I did all right, I know I didn't do what I. And that took a lot to say to yourself, you know what? I'm not invincible. Like there's something I can't handle.
Right.
And and then you said, I've given up. You actually took one because they kept on meeting your price range.
Yeah,
I mean, that's
tried to get them not to hire me.
Yeah, exactly. But
and then I went and proved to them why they shouldn't have.
I was thinking to myself that Scott Long did one the other day, and he filmed a little bit of it. And seemed like he had a good time with it. And the whole time I'm watching him, I'm thinking, oh my God, I would die. I would die if I had to do that. I just, first of all, I'm like every kid's fucking grandparent there, which would be just,
so is he
icky. I mean, just icky. I mean,
yeah. I mean, he's
got high school kids himself.
Yeah, that's true. He does. I mean, having kids in high school probably helps. He can probably drop.
He relates. He can relate. But I mean, just the thing is, I know that he couldn't go. He couldn't go to material, so he had to do. And that's what he does. He plays the crowd because that's what he does. He's a corporate guy. But I just think to myself, if I had to do it, I would. And like I said, I learned that 15 years ago that I thought I can't do this anymore.
They just have to pay me a whole bunch of money.
Yeah.
It's the only way I'm doing anything like.
But I don't understand how they think that I would be a good. You know what? I just don't understand sometimes when people hire someone
because they think everybody is. Wow. They think they've seen you.
Yeah.
They laughed at you in the comedy club or wherever they saw you. They thought you were great.
But they didn't understand. They don't understand the whole situation.
No, they don't.
Yeah.
No, they don't.
How many corporates you went into and they didn't have it set up at all? They bring you in there. There's no light. Nobody tells nobody to shut up. And then you get up there and you try to do something and they're like, I don't know what happened. Well, what happened is, stand-up comedy just doesn't happen. It's got to be nurtured.
Undivided attention.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And that's, I think that's what you do early on when you're getting your chops or whatever. Is you figure out how to get their undivided attention.
Right. Yeah.
I think that you and I are to the point where we don't want to do that work.
No, not
like
at
either
all.
Have my undivided, either give me it right away.
Yeah.
Or fuck off.
Yeah.
Like
I'm like this. If I got a corporate that I got to do, I'm going to do it alone. Just so I don't want any other. And then if I got to do a show that I know is going to be hard to do, then bring 2 or 3 other people and let them take the bullets for a while, and I'll go up there and just clean up. I mean, just I just don't want to. I don't have the energy, all the effort to do all that.
No. It's also there's a
Now, see what you're doing. There's
a level of trying to do things on my own terms.
The open bar thing sounds like fun. I've seen some of those things. They set it up pretty good for you there.
Well, and I just don't like. I'm trying.
Did they do it just in Colorado, or is this something that they film all over the place?
There's a few different places they film.
Yeah.
Florida, I know.
Yeah.
But yeah, for me, it's just I don't want to do comedy like not on my own terms anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I don't want to worry about working. Like,
yeah,
don't want to hold back because I want to make sure that I go back next year. And
yeah, the thing is, working a comedy club, you already know. Okay, they're there for that reason, and that makes it that's a foot in the door. So you at least know. Okay, but when you go to places and it's like we're going to try this, and then you're like, well, oh fuck.
Yeah, I mean, and I got to that point with one-nighters a long-ass time ago where I realized, because it used to be you had the bookers, like Kenny Muller, who booked the series of one-nighters, and you'd go every year, you'd do those runs,
Yeah, exactly.
And then that doesn't exist anymore. Now a one-nighter, now a one-nighter is pretty much just a one-nighter. And most of those, you're only going to do one time and never do them again.
Yeah.
And I got that way. I got that way years ago where I quit giving a fuck on the one-nighters. Like,
well,
I'm never going to see these people because I would do the big thing. It wasn't even about the comedy. It was more about like making deals with my t-shirts or
exactly
giving a t-shirt to the bar owner.
Yeah.
Instead of selling it to him, stuff like that. And then I got to where I was like, the fuck do I care? Like,
it used to be the one-nighters used to be fun because you do like a Tuesday, Wednesday, one-nighter here, one-nighter there, but it always led to a really good comedy club for the weekend. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you did this one or two
a lot of them.
Yeah,
they would. They'd have like a Wednesday, Thursday, and then there'd be a really Friday, Saturday would be in the same place. They'd have like a little kind of a club or a makeshift club or yeah.
And they're just not doing. I mean, it seems like anymore, anywhere you go, there's comedy every night, but it's not paid comedy and it's not comedy crowds. It's just.
And the thing is, if you just put, it wouldn't take that much effort. I wouldn't think to put some runs together. Like, if you just did like 6 hours tops in between, like 6 hours is a lot.
Yeah,
but like if you did like 3 to 6 hour trips. Like that's not.
Does your dog does he still have the bunch of runs or no?
He doesn't really do many runs. He does mostly just one night somewhere.
That takes the wind out of your sails fast.
And it's on you to put anything around it.
Yeah, I agree.
And that's just, I don't know. Like when I was just fucking balls to the wall. Like I had an agent that just booked.
Yeah, exactly.
One nighter.
Yeah, that's
booked me on runs. Like
you didn't have to think about it. Yeah,
and
you got your itinerary and you just went.
Yeah, the first day might be a 12-hour drive, and then you have
bang, bang, bang,
4 or 5 in between, and then you're back.
I remember one time you went because I was following you. I don't know who you went with, but I was fucking insane. You were like in New Mexico, then you were like in Utah. It was. I mean, it was an insane run.
That was a Tom Garland. I had Tom Garland with me. Yeah, because he always he always posted everywhere we were going. And I never did that shit. Like,
but I mean, you were like little. It was one of those all over the country, and you're not kidding around. I mean,
I get annoyed. Like if I got a story to tell or something, I'll put it up. But like, I get annoyed with the guys that post about every show they do. Like if you have a following in every city and you're trying to sell tickets and you post, ahead of time, that's one thing. But this fucking posting after every show you do about how it went,
and you all got the same photo. It all looks like you're bunch of chulos in prison together. Everybody's a couple people are down on the one knee and
great show tonight and such and such.
Everybody killed.
I just feel like the only reason people do that is so like some high school friend will be like, man, you're out there killing it.
Yeah. You know what though? I wish I think about all those old things you did and you worked with people that were famous. I never ever documented anything. So I mean, and as I'm getting older, I can't even remember where I've been. And I kind of wish I did. And also this thing about social media, it's tougher than you think. I keep on thinking, well, these people do this stuff and they don't and I've kind of realized all it is just throwing as much shit on the wall as you possibly can and make it stick.
Yeah, and maybe that's how they're looking at it, like engagement or whatever. But I think it's self-serving. Yeah. I think it's just.
It might be a little both. You know what I mean?
It's like to prove to themselves that they're a comic.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe.
You know what I mean? Yeah. More so than, I don't know. I just.
They put their schedule up there like they think someone's going to follow it, but but on the other hand, like I said, it's this social media. It's actually getting out there and letting people. If you're doing it every day, after a while, maybe somebody does remember who you are. I mean, it's worked for a lot of people.
Yeah, and if you're like I said, you're posting your schedule because you've been on the road for 20 years and you've gone to these clubs over and over again. You have people in those towns,
right?
That's different. But like for me. The only places I don't have fans. I don't have a fucking following, right?
Yeah.
Here in Des Moines, I can put a post up and sell some tickets.
Yeah.
But outside of here, nobody gives a fuck. I'm doing comedy night.
That's the thing about here even too. I mean, I know that come Christmas, I will get and you've done the Funny Bone too for yourself on Christmas. You'll get a good follow. You'll get the people, but now you can't expect them to come see you
every single time. Multiple times a year.
Exactly. If they're going to come see you Christmas, they're not going to come in February to see you at the Elks Club. They're just not. And you can't blame them.
No, I wouldn't either.
Yeah.
Fuck, I'm getting tired of watching my son wrestle. No.
That's fun.
No, it is.
That's why he's wrestling soon again, isn't he?
Yeah. Fuck, I forgot the date already. Is it May 31st? Are there 31 days in May?
30 days has September, April, June, and November. All the rest have 31. It's May.
Yeah. I think the 31st. Either the 17th or the 31st.
Okay. Of May.
We're sponsoring that one again.
Oh, cool. Yeah. I owe you some bucks.
Yeah, you gotta give me some motherfucking money. I just paid for it last time.
I'll give you some cash.
Andrew, are you with us?
He left. He got bored.
He just spaced out.
I think he did.
Andrew, I think he forgot that he has a role to play.
You there, Andrew?
He's got to. He is.
I'm here.
You been listening to this stuff?
I've been listening the whole time.
You poor bastard.
Let's go ahead and take our break, and then do you have any Reddit? So what you got? You got anything for us?
I got something for you after the break.
Cool.
All right, man.
I'm gonna get something.
Let's take a break.
All right.
Yep.
Making great tasting bourbon requires the perfect combination of ingredients, conditions, and time. The longer it rests, the better it tastes. Revelton Distillery's new single barrel bourbon is made from 80% corn, sourced 100% from Iowa farmers. And unlike mass-produced bourbons, each barrel of Revelton's single barrel bourbon is unique, proofed on when it tastes best. As they like to say, it'll be ready when it's ready. And to ensure the highest standards of quality and flavor, owners Rob and Christy Taylor oversee the production and bottling. Every single barrel. Iowa born, Iowa aged, Iowa bottled. Try the new single barrel bourbon from Iowa's own Revelton Distillery. ReveltonDistillery.com.
In 2023, a crack Green Beret named Dan Douglas retired his military command and promptly escaped to a full-time career in real estate. Today, this man is wanted by home buyers and sellers who want to survive the process without spending a fortune. If you have a home to sell or want to buy one, maybe you can hire Dan Douglas at Green Beret Realty. You can find him at greenberetrealty.com. greenberetrealty.com.
Whether you're buying, selling, or refinancing your home, or if it's simply time to renovate the one you're already living in, You need an experienced mortgage professional to help you analyze your financing options and to make sure the closing goes smoothly. And that's exactly what you get when you call Kyle Lehman at Wintrust Mortgage. Kyle's experience and expertise, coupled with Wintrust's rates and programs, ensures you'll get the mortgage that's right for you. You may even qualify for down payment assistance. Before you reach out to a realtor, call Kyle and get pre-qualified, empowering you to start shopping for the home of your dreams. Call Kyle at 515-473-0546. Kyle Lehman Wintrust Mortgage, 515-473-0546.
Oh, and Willie is not back yet, as usual.
All right, we'll wait for Willie.
We'll wait to get to mine. What's going on Hawkeye basketball wise?
Oh, we got a new big man from Spain.
Yeah. Oh, really? Oh, is that the kid from
Robert Morris?
The transfer from
Yep, we got Robert Morris, and let's see, we're trying to fill out the team with another point guard from High Point, Keza Giffa, a guy from France. So a little bit of an international flavor to the team next year.
You know what? That's because so far I was thinking to myself, like, okay, is it just a bunch of white guys again? Are we doing this same old fucking suburban white boy team? Like, this is what my problem was. Like, and I was a fan of Fran. I loved Fran. Like, I didn't, if Fran would have stayed, I'd have been fine. Like,
yeah.
I could see the apathy of the rest of the fan base, and I felt like a change was needed just for an energy boost. But
yeah,
at the same time, as McCollum has come in, right away, I'm like, okay, are all these Drake players going to be able to play in the Big Ten?
That's going to be interesting. Yeah,
I mean, they did beat Missouri.
Yeah,
and they won 31 games, right?
Yeah,
so they're winners. Yeah, it's a fair question as to whether or not some of them can play at the next level. But for year one to bring like the core of a team that won 31 games, I think that's a good start for year one.
I know, and I think that's what we're forgetting, that it is going to be year one, or it is year one.
Well,
and it doesn't feel like it should be like a big rebuild. We lost pretty much everybody. Nobody stayed except Koch, but like they were still like a 500-ish team. They weren't in the tank.
Yeah.
So right. Bennett Sturts for sure can play at the next level. There's not a lot of doubt about that one.
No, that kid can ball.
Fulgaris for sure at the next level. There's some questions about him a little bit, but he was highly sought after. And then the Kansas State kid is a good shooter. And then this guy from High Point that they might get is not a shooter, but can really get to the rim. So it's a nice combination of shooting and guys that can play with the ball. Mm-hmm. It's an interesting combination.
Well, they're going to have to play defense to play for him, and I
will.
Like that, but I do like that we're getting a couple foreigners. I like the kid that kid's that we're going after is from France, and then this other kid's a Spaniard, right?
Yeah.
So Spaniard white boy is different than Waukee white boy is.
Oh, with no doubt about it.
Yeah. So if you remember back to last year's Drake team, Mitch Muscari and Daniel Abreu were a huge part of the team. Mm-hmm. The Kansas State kid and the Robert Morris kid are, to me, vastly superior versions of those two.
Gotcha.
So really, he brought Bennett Sturts and vastly superior versions of those two guys, plus Banks and Maniau, plus maybe a kid from France who was unlike what he had on the team. So he's got like a superior version of what he had last year. Will it fully translate? I don't know, but it'll be better than what we had before.
I look forward to it.
So yeah, it's a change. I mean,
I
something
worry
new.
slightly about it being a new Licklider era. You know, but
I'm not in that camp.
yeah, no, I mean, that's just my worry. You know, that's my con.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I
Sure.
mean?
All right.
So hold on real quick. I want to ask you about football now.
Oh, let's go.
Is there anything else? You know, can you tell me anything that'll make me feel good about our linebackers?
Oh, that'll make you feel good about the linebackers. Well, I think in terms of physical talent, there's been a lot of talk behind the scenes about how physically the guys that will play next year and beyond are more physically gifted than Jay Higgins and Nick Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
Whether what Jay Higgins and Nick Jackson might have lacked in athleticism, and they were athletic guys, don't get me wrong, but what they might have lacked, they made up for in the mental side of things.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's maybe the one con, but I think physically, the guys that play at linebacker next year, I think it's going to be Jaden Harrell and Landon Van Kekrix are guys that learned and waited their turn, much like Jay Higgins did.
Mm.
And we saw Jay Higgins break out after waiting his turn behind Jack Campbell. And so I don't really worry about that position because Seth Wallace is such a good coach.
What about the most recent portal guys like Nestor and what do you think? Was there some writing on the wall there because of the scholarship, the numbers kind of dwindling scholarship wise, and did these guys have backup? Were these guys not going to play? Like they went into the year thinking it was their year and found out it probably wasn't.
Yeah, I think Nestor, there were some expectations when he first stepped onto campus and never really came to fruition for one reason or another. But also with Nestor, kind of an interesting story behind the scenes is his dad became a coach of one of the local high schools in the Iowa City area and got ran out of town because they didn't like him.
Oh,
and that might have actually fueled the transfer as well. So
gotcha. I'm sure
I think there was a little bit
it.
more of a story there with John Nestor specifically.
That makes sense.
Than just it wasn't his time, but he also was fighting for a starting spot. Probably wasn't going to be a starter.
And what about this other D-back? God, what was his name?
One we just brought in or one we lost?
One we lost. Tate?
I can't even think of the name, to be honest.
I feel like there was a Tate. Was it?
Oh, Khalil Tate. Yeah,
Khalil Tate.
He's pretty buried on the depth chart.
Okay, I thought so.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Deshaun Lee and TJ Hall are going to be the starting corners next year, pending transfer signing.
who's going to be the other safety?
They are flipping Nwankpa to free safety.
I knew that, but who's going to play strong safety?
Who's going to play strong safety? That's oh my gosh, I'm blanking on his name. He played a little bit last year. I can't remember his name. Who's going to play strong?
Okay, so why is it weird that you think it's weird that Wampa's moving to free safety?
No, because that's what he played in high school. He was out of position at strong. Free was kind of his position in high school.
Why do you think he played strong up until
played strong because it was the quickest way onto the field early.
Gotcha.
They already had free safety kind of spoken for until this upcoming year.
Yeah, but didn't you think he would have been better than why can't I think of his name all of a sudden?
Yeah,
the kid, Jesus, I fucking drank with him after the bowl game.
Wow.
Oh, Schulte?
Yeah, Schulte.
Yeah, maybe.
You know what I mean? Like, I would have thought.
Yeah, I think there was just a lot of confidence. Maybe it was more like Schulte couldn't flip to strong.
Yeah, it was just better
That kind of a
team-wise that
thing.
way. Yeah. Whoever would have been the backup. Yeah.
And I
That
also
makes sense.
think that Nwankpa would have been a good fit at the Sebastian Castro spot, maybe early on in his career, but we had Sebastian Castro locking that spot down.
He's not. I don't know if he's beefy enough to play that cash. He's
probably not quite beefy enough.
But he's had nagging injuries every year. He's dealt. I just hope he has a healthy season. I want to see him at 100% for
that would be wonderful. Cohen, Entringer, and Zach Lutmer are kind of the guys that are going to play in that defensive backfield.
Entringer, I remember that.
Yeah.
That kid. Who's number 1 on the running back depth chart?
Oh, it's probably going to be either Moulton or Jazz Patterson. Kind of interchangeable there.
I really like Jazz Patterson.
Yeah.
I wanted to see him get more carries last year.
Yeah, you'll get to see plenty of carries from Moulton and Jazz Patterson, and then it's kind of going to be a committee deal with Washington too.
Right on. All right. Yeah. Well, and this kid's throwing now. Gronkowski, fucking, I don't know.
Yeah.
I hate getting excited about stuff like this.
Yeah, I understand the wait and see approach if you want to take that approach.
Well, he didn't score any fucking points against us. When he played against us. I know that.
He was a little bit of a different guy. He was also coming off a bad ACL on that one too. He's fully recovered from that now.
Yeah, that's true.
So it was a little bit of an interesting situation. Your first game back from an ACL was Iowa in Iowa City. That doesn't go well.
Yeah, he got beat up pretty good. All right.
Let's move
Moving on. Willie, how you doing over there?
I'm just checking it all out. Sounds like it's gonna be okay. You'll be all right, Billy. You'll be banging
I'm thinking it's just the same every year. We're either gonna be 7-5. We'll be somewhere between. Although the schedule's a little tougher this year, like we could have a losing season this year. We could be anywhere from 5-7 to 9-3.
Yeah, we haven't had a losing season since 2012, so I'm not going to go that far. I think this is definitely
a lot of time in the West.
But even with the increased schedule, I think there's still a path to a good 8 wins here, probably 8 to 10 is my range.
Have high hopes. You gotta have.
Yep.
High answer.
I'll be in the front row with a fucking paper sack with an X on it over my head.
I hope not. That means something went really, really wrong.
Really wrong. Yeah. You know what I have been thinking about doing though? Is in the north end zone, when you go up from my section, when you get to the top, all those little, there's these little kind of suite things, but they're outdoor.
Yeah.
Little outdoor kind of suites, and they got a TV, and they have heaters like above them.
Oh,
it's like these electric heaters up in the up above them. I've thought about changing my seats up to that last row that goes right along in front of those suites.
Oh, to try and get
that heater. Yeah.
There you go.
Oh no, Billy, you love being up there though. That's
no. I know. For right now, but I'm getting. I'm gonna get too old for that shit eventually.
Nah, I don't think so.
I'm gonna be too old for the front row in the north end zone before too long. Like I can't. Yeah. There needs to be people that can beat on the pad and really, like you gotta.
You would be the kind.
I come home with arm injuries. From beating on the fucking pad.
Maniac. You're a maniac.
Wild.
All right. Let's do our what is it? We got Reddit stuff. What do we got? No AI this week. Chris didn't send you any fucking fat Bill Blake AI pictures.
No, he didn't. He didn't. No AI this week.
No.
I'm going off script this week.
Okay.
No Reddit.
No Reddit.
We'll see how this goes. But I was listening to another podcast, so I can't take credit for this idea. But every year They do the NFL draft and fantasy football, but they have a take purge. Are you familiar with The Purge, the movie The Purge?
Yeah, that's where one day you can murder everybody.
Yeah. Well, the concept for them is for the length of the podcast, they can say their most outlandish takes with no repercussions, no judgment. So I'll give an example, then I'll let you guys give your outlandish takes, your most outlandish takes. One of their takes that they eventually got to post to sports was like, music was better when it was made by ugly people. We should take the microphones away from the hot people because they don't know struggle. So that was one of their hot takes. So give me your take purge, the take you've really been wanting to get out there but have been afraid to say.
Well, there's no such thing as anything I've ever been afraid.
Oh yeah,
yeah, I know. I figured. So,
but I'll say something. I'm so fucking sick of politics of any side, and you know I won't take a side. I won't say I voted Democrat most of my life, but I'm just tired of everybody. You know, you watch all these shows and everybody's got a take on it, and the worst is these people that like I know that because they watch a certain show or not, they try to give you what they think. You know what I mean? And it's like, shut the fuck up. I mean, you don't matter. You know what I mean? These guys will tell you, well, this is going on. This is going on. It's like you barely got a job. You don't have any. What your life ain't gonna fucking change. Shut up. Just shut up. Hey, that's it. I'm tired of politics. Shut up. Just shut up.
Yeah. Well, my hot take would be about Donald Trump in Congress. No, just
exactly what I said. Shut up.
Shut up. Jesus fucking shut up.
Fucking shut up.
Let me think. Well, I think that I said this a long time ago. I think that the country started going downhill as soon as Babe Ruth was the first athlete to make more money than the president of the United States.
Well, they asked him about that, and he said, "You made more than the president." Which I think it was Woodrow Wilson. Babe said, "I had a better year." And, the problem with all that is I'll tell you, the number one thing that's fucked up with this country is the fact that, we got all these people making all this money, and you got teachers and cops, people that are putting their military, people that actually really make a difference, and they don't get paid shit. So our priorities are all fucked up. They really
I mean, we're bitching about shit that's never going to change.
Nah, exactly.
But I just feel like, okay, here's a take. I got a take right here.
Okay,
let's go.
And I've got my fucking in-person hearing with the county assessor next week.
Oh boy, yeah.
Give him a piece of my fucking mind, you motherfuckers. Property taxes. I believe that once you buy your house, whatever your property taxes are, the day that you close on your house, they stay that way for the life of you living in that house. Your property taxes don't increase as the value of your home increases.
Kind of like in big cities like New York, when people live and they get controlled rent.
Like rent controlled housing or whatever. Yeah.
You get grandfathered in and that's it.
Once you buy that house, whatever the taxes are right then, they stay that way until you move out. And then whoever buys the house after that, then you adjust them to the value of the house. And then they stay that way for that person until they move out.
You just get grandfathered in, whatever it is at that point.
This fucking constantly raising.
Yeah.
It just keeps people where they're at. Nobody can get ahead.
No.
Everything keeps costing more money and nobody makes more money. Nobody's getting a fucking raise at their job. No single person that's just working 40 hours a week somewhere is getting a fucking raise. None of them. You know who is? The fucking assessor's office. The whole fucking office, 10% raise. How are they going to pay for that? They're going to raise everybody's fucking property values arbitrarily. It's just made up.
Yeah.
They just drive by and just make it up.
They do. They just look at it and think, that looks like the guesstimate.
They can just do whatever the fuck they want.
There you
They
go.
can just say it's worth whatever the fuck they want and then raise your fucking property taxes.
Billy with the hot. Who are you, Beelzebub?
Yeah.
Billy couldn't say Beelzebub, which is the devil. Billy called him Beelzebub.
I just thought Beelzebub sounded better.
But I like it. It does sound better.
Billy
Beelzebub is in charge of the Polk County Assessor's Office.
Fucking Beelzebub.
So, but they just voted, and this is the other thing. They act like they're doing you a favor. They do this all under the guise of acting like they're doing you a favor. Because they just voted. I don't know who they is, but they just voted not to raise our property tax rate, right? And when they did that, they bragged about it. Oh, they're so fucking great.
Oh yeah, exactly.
You guys are so great for the working class. You're not gonna raise these rates. What a fuck, man! We elected you guys to do your job. Thank you so much. 2 weeks later, you get your assessment, and it goes up $40,000 fucking in 2 years.
You happy you opened up this can of worms, Andrew?
So
see where this is going now?
Yeah.
And so then what you're supposed to do is if you don't want your property taxes to go through the roof, you're supposed to protest this and basically go in there and go, no, my house isn't worth that much. Well, who the fuck? You shouldn't have to do that. I
think that's what we ought to do. I'm gonna get you. I'll make you a little sign that you can carry, and you walk in there and protest, and I'll film the whole thing.
Oh, I was gonna organize an actual protest, like fucking march.
If the news asks who you are, you tell them I'm Bill Beelzebub.
But
I saw you organizing on Facebook.
Yeah, the problem is you just can't. It just doesn't. It didn't grow legs. You know, I'm not gonna put myself out there on that level. Have nobody show up to the protest, but that's the thing. It's really hard to rally a bunch of fucking middle-class white people to do anything.
Yeah, they got pickleball game that night. They can't.
Yeah, so you're just but I mean, they're literally just slowly pricing working class people out of their fucking houses. Like,
well, we can leave on that. That's a
wonderful note.
Kind of a sour note.
Well, that's my fucking hot take. I think that property taxes should not budge once you buy the fucking house.
And I'd like to talk to you about it, but I said no fucking politics. So
this isn't politics, Willie. This is fucking
life. This is life.
I'll bring it back to comedy with my take.
Mm-hmm.
There's not been an original comedy movie since Superbad.
Yeah, you know what? You're absolutely right. My wife and I was talking about that the other day, that they do not make any really good comedy movies anymore. It's been a while.
Superbad was the last one I can remember. Give me one. Tell me I'm wrong.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've actually said. Did you see that movie? It's funny as shit.
Ricky Stenicki was funny.
Oh, I guess I haven't
with
John Cena
and Zac Efron.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That was kind of funny, but still,
that was funny. I like.
Well, it's like we talked about before. It's not like the old days where if a movie was good, everybody knew about it. Now it's like, you know what I mean? There could be some great movies out there, but there's just no form for you to find out.
There's been a lot of time since Superbad. There's a lot of movies.
My wife took my daughter to that, and she was like 10, and she's 30 now, or 29. So it's been like 20 years.
19 years.
Yeah. There you go.
But I guess I've never met anybody that said Superbad was a bad movie.
No, Superbad was great.
No, Superbad's great.
Yeah.
The first scene, they're starting off.
So you mean that's like
all
the last? That's the last universally great.
Yes.
Comedy?
That's what
everybody agreed on. That everybody went. Oh,
everybody agreed
you got to see that. Yeah,
this is great.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, Step Brothers was great. The other guys was great.
Was Step Brothers after Superbad?
I don't know if it was.
I think it might have been.
I mean, Will Ferrell's made some funny goddamn movies.
Dude, if Step
other
Brothers
guys,
is after Superbad, I don't know, but see, a lot of people don't like Will Ferrell.
Yeah.
Not a lot of people, but
how about, I'll tell you one of the greatest movies. How about Ted? Was anything?
Ted's funny.
Ted was just hilarious.
I'm really looking forward to that new Naked Gun movie. We talked about it before.
Yeah.
Step Brothers came out a year after Superbad. So, I mean, I guess depends on your view of Step Brothers.
I don't know a lot of people.
You're not crazy about this. It sounds like you're not Step Brothers. So, you didn't like Step Brothers?
I liked it. I just don't know if everybody would say that it's universally.
I think you just don't want to be wrong.
How about Talladega Nights?
Wrong, Andrew.
I love Talladega Nights.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll tell you what was fucking. I'm gonna. It's not universal though. Borat.
Oh
was
God,
funnier.
Borat was fantastic. Yeah.
Borat's funnier than Superbad any day of the week. I was fucking crying.
Oh my God, yeah.
Borat.
My life.
What about Borat, Andrew?
Talladega Nights came out before Superbad.
Mm-hmm.
Borat came out after.
Yeah,
Borat was great.
But where you at on Borat?
I have never actually seen Borat. No,
Borat.
I've never seen Borat.
You know what? That's your assignment tonight.
Yeah.
All right. I love it.
I'm telling you, and you'll get a hold of us tomorrow and thank us.
Oh, that was very nice.
And you'll tell Billy I'll pay your assessment.
No, you got to pay my fucking property taxes. I got some real life fucking white people problems here, man. All
right.
Is that it? You got anything else for us?
That's all I got for you guys.
All right.
Was it? Jesus, fucking Chris just leaves and doesn't do any. Just mailed it in. He didn't even. You know.
And he just makes big AI pictures of Fat Billy all the time.
He's like the teacher that didn't give the fucking substitute any notes on the class.
You think at least give him a Fat Billy picture?
Yeah, here, fucking. Here's the big tall cart with the 32-inch tube TV on it, a VCR.
Yeah.
We're gonna wheel that into the classroom, and everybody's gonna watch fucking Lady and the Tramp.
I mean, here's the thing: Chris could give me all the notes he wants. I'd still probably do my own thing, anyways. But he didn't really give me any notes. He just asked me to fill in.
Well, you were in heaven now. You get to talk about your Hawks for a while and go deep inside and find out who the third string fucking linebacker was.
We're good.
How much time do you think Kirk has left?
2 years.
Really? I was gonna say
this year
4.
and next.
I was gonna say 4.
That'll make him 70 or 71 or something like that because he's my age.
He wants to get that. You got to get that Woody Hayes.
He'll get Woody Hayes. He'll catch Woody Hayes, and then that'll be it.
Isn't there a certain thing that he has to do? Like he has to win games with a certain percentage. I mean, isn't that a
70? You got to hit the you got to hit the 60% mark.
And he's right there, right?
He's right.
I mean, yeah. So he actually does need a couple good seasons or decent seasons. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
All right.
So who's next then? You don't think Seth Wallace just takes over, do you?
No, it will be a full-blown external search, much like the men's basketball was.
Well, I wouldn't call it full-blown external. We fucking
an
hour and a half away.
I mean, I'm sure there will be a short list that will involve internal people, but I don't think it's just going to automatically be an internal person.
No, it won't. I mean, Kirk Ferentz wasn't exactly internal, but
right. He had connections.
Is there someone that has coached under Kirk Ferentz that's coaching somewhere now? That's a head coach somewhere now?
There's not really a Kirk tree.
He doesn't have that. He doesn't have that history that Hayden Fried had with the.
Because
that was insane. The coaches that came from him.
Because so many of his coaches stay past the point where they're really sought after to become head coaches.
Yeah.
So he doesn't really have the tree.
Yeah, that's true.
Fuck them all. Bring Brian back. Bring Brian back and put him in there.
Seth Wallace is a good name. LeVar Woods is the other name.
Yeah.
Least kind of thrown out there, but some people have thrown it out there. I think if he fixes the offense, it's Tim Lester's show. Maybe
bring Dion back.
I think Tim Lester could be the guy if it's internal. If he truly fixes the offense, he could be the guy.
Yeah. I don't know. He didn't fucking win anywhere.
Yeah, but again, if you fix the Iowa offense, you're probably a strong candidate for the job after Kirk is gone.
I suppose. I don't know.
If he works well with quarterbacks too.
I want to see
kind of his thing.
I'd like to see a splash hire.
Yeah, well, I don't know how realistic that is.
Well, I mean, if we're gonna throw the money, all of a sudden they're gonna start throwing money at basketball. That's kind of annoying to me too. Like, if you're gonna commit to improving facilities and shit, why didn't you do that for Fran? Like, he wasn't like he was there losing all this time.
They didn't like him apparently.
Something. So like, football wise, I feel like if they're gonna throw that much more money at football.
Yeah, well, revenue sharing is the big thing now.
I actually hope that happens. I hope NIL actually goes away and they do the revenue sharing.
NIL will never go away, but revenue sharing will become a bigger and bigger part of the pie.
Well, just what I mean by that is I think what NIL was meant for was just for guys to be able to make money at an autograph session and be able to make money at,
You're right.
They weren't supposed to make millions of dollars, and it wasn't supposed to just turn into getting bags of money to go to schools.
Well, if they were going to make millions of dollars, it was always supposed to be that money. It's supposed to come from the school's revenue that they were making.
Well, the barn door's open. I don't think you can bring the horses back in.
Well, I think you can, though, to a certain extent. I think you can go, okay, we got to rein this in a little bit. There weren't much for rules. We got to make some rules. Yeah. And I feel like revenue sharing would level the playing field more. And then you take you make it specific with NIL where it's like literally name, image, and likeness. Like, you can sign autographs. You can,
you're going to have to do this for one reason alone. Otherwise, every Final Four is going to have 4 number 1 seeds. Every football fucking championship is going to have the same 4 or 5 teams. And I mean, after a while, it's going to get boring. And a lot of people, then people are going to start falling off, and then it's going to be really boring. So,
or does it turn into like 2 conferences and that's it? No.
Well, that's kind of where I've always thought we're headed. Revenue sharing is happening. $20.5 million is about the roughly estimated amount that you can maximum amount. There's some schools that are scrambling to even be able to come up with the funds to share $20.5 million. Mm-hmm. So if that number goes up, that might actually widen the gap between the haves and the have-nots. It won't actually level the playing field. It might actually widen that gap.
Mm. Well, what I'm saying is you cap it.
Yeah.
Everybody gets the same amount across the board, and that's it.
Yeah.
And you share it. And then NIL is autographs, camps.
Yeah. You're putting a lot of faith in the NCAA then, though, Bill. And I just
to me, that's how you pay the fucking players something that makes it worth all the money they're bringing in, but at the same time keep some sort of amateurism to it, still keep a student athlete theme to it,
Yeah. Oh man, I think some of that has just been so long gone,
destroyed.
Yeah, it's just so long gone. I don't even know if that exists anymore.
I wouldn't even pass basket weaving now anyway.
All right,
guys. We will see you next week. Thanks for stepping in, Andrew.
Yeah, thank you, Andrew. Appreciate it.
Thank you guys for having me on.
Peace, everybody.
Out.
Just a mic and a dream. Now we ride this circuit, chasing that scene. Every heckle, every cheer, every silent stare. Made us sharper, made us bolder. We ain't going nowhere.